I remember when I was their age, and the very idea of a gay or lesbian marriage was not even discussed. It seemed like a totally absurd idea if it was ever brought up. Clearly because you didn't know any LGBT people. I work with Jessica at her pharmacy now and she is really sweet and respectful. Dismissing her and her wife and their daughter as perverts, because they were not straight like us or Christians like us, was just being ignorant. I never want us to go back to the days of us being dominated by Christian values. Those ideas were just bigotry, not real morals.
You know the most amazing thing about this upcoming wedding?
What's that?
It's listening to our teenage daughters discuss more and more ideas for the wedding, the honeymoon, and even their possible future plans without ever seeing them fight over it. Even when they disagree, there is no hint of anger between them. I remember almost canceling my wedding to Rich because he insisted we fly to Hawaii for our honeymoon, and I wanted to stay in Tulsa because I was already pregnant with Debbie. In the end, we compromised and went to Fort Worth and Arlington to attend a baseball game. But having to sit through that game was torture for me. After that, I told him he would have to attend sporting events alone and I would stay home.
Jessica and I often settle disagreements between us by playing games like Uno or poker. We taught Carrie that too.
Okay, let's roll the dice. You got 9. I will have to exceed that. You got only 5, so I win. We will go to Los Angeles for our honeymoon. Of course. Next issue, where will we live first after we return from the honeymoon? In your home or mine? Yours, please. I really prefer your place, because James is not there. He may be my brother, but I don't like being around him that much. As you wish. Next issue, will alcohol be served at our wedding? Mother Lucy doesn't drink and doesn't want anyone to get drunk at our wedding. Obviously not. We are the brides and neither of us are old enough to drink. And we should make clear to all the guests that alcohol is actually banned from the wedding. No one should bring any. Okay, what about a wedding cake? Should we have one? If so, what kind? A giant wedding cake would only add to the expense of the wedding. How about we just serve pizza? We can order a dozen of them from the Tuscany Tavern. Practical. All right, that's enough planning for today. Carrie, I want you to know how proud I am of you, not only for loving Debbie, but everything about your handling of the situation. Only because you taught me so well. I can only hope I and Debbie can measure up to the example you and Mother Lucy set for me. If I had to live my life over again and could choose my family, I would choose you. I can't imagine being raised by anyone else. Thanks. We just did the best we could with what we knew. I think that is true of most people. Debbie, it seems we have both come a long way from what we were like 3 years ago. Remember when you and I argued at this very spot over religion and how I was running my English class? Of course. You are a totally different person now. Well, you proved me wrong by showing how amazing you are. I never thought you'd be willing to settle down and get married while still a teen. You and Carrie are incredibly strong and mature. The very opposite of what I used to think. And the prevailing culture of this town has changed too. You and Carrie fought back at the hypocrisy and bigotry of people like me and Reverend Dave Owen and showed how shallow we really were. Thank you for that.
Do you think maybe we should get married too, Eric?
I think after what happened last month, we should spend a long time winning the trust and respect of our parents before we even bring that issue up. But I certainly see us getting married someday. We just have to take things one day at a time and... Look out. Is that Ted Wilson going into the girls' restroom? With a baseball bat?
We must stop him.
What are you doing here? This is the girls' restroom.
Right, and I remember when you invaded the boys' room and attacked me for flirting with the girl I wanted to date. Now it is payback.
Ted, you monster. What have you done?
You are going to pay for that.
So, you want to be next, Eric?
take Ted to the principal's office and someone get Carrie to the nurse's office.
It looks like one of Carrie's legs is broken and she has a black eye and is bleeding from her mouth. She needs to go to hospital.